Tutski. No, thank you, though.
All right, welcome back to another weekly watch list analysis. I was going to do this last night, but I was just too tired, and I'm actually kind of happy that we're able to do it today because it was a wild day in the markets. So December 4th, we got 4 weeks left until the end of the year, and everybody's basically expecting a Santa rally. We'll see if that actually plays out or not. But if we take a quick look at the triple Qs, so the NASDAQ, we basically touched the MA here, the 20, and bounced back. We looked like we were going for a gap fill here in the morning, but the indices held and retraced. There was some news overnight, I think, about some more ship being attacked and some other stuff. So pre-market was down and we opened up pretty heavy to the downside, but ended up holding. So an interesting day. And if you are bullish biased, a good day to pick up some discounts. It's kind of funny how the stock market works. The hardest time to buy, but always usually the best, is on heavy down days, right? When things are at a discount. It's easy to buy when things are going up. It's hard to buy when things are basically in a sort of small free fall here. But we've been consolidating in this range here on the Qs. There it is. You see basically this. So that's our range. We're still within it. We're on the bottom end. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been in this range. So if you look at the weekly, it's still pretty bullish bias, in my opinion, but we'll see how the week plays out. So anyway, let's get on to the names that I have for this week, and some interesting ones for sure. Some of the ones from last week that I'll talk about that I had plays on, that I still have some plays on. But I want to talk about crypto first. So we're going to start off with Ethereum, and we'll start off with the weekly. So the weekly looks great, very bullish, on an uptrend here after basically consolidating in this, I would even call it this, right, outside of that outlier. Basically been consolidating in this area since January. So all year, consolidation in this area, finally broke out strong. So I'm bullish crypto. BTC is even stronger, and BTC generally leads. Ethereum generally lags a bit, and you can see BTC, this is on the weekly, but if you look on the daily, we basically have this range here that we have finally broken out of. So something like that. And it's been pretty much nonstop, no resistance, a couple of small pullbacks, nothing really too crazy, but 42,000 already. So I'll expect some consolidation up here. In my mind, nothing too major. Still very bullish on the weekly. And if you look at interest in Bitcoin, it's still very low. So the ETF is coming out, I think in January is the deadline. So front running the price makes sense a little bit, and we'll kind of see what happens. But very bullish on crypto, and still time. Always a good time to DCA in. So that's pretty much it for Ethereum. Now this name, which is the China large cap ETF, as you can see, this is the weekly. Very seasonal. And if you look back, where pretty much there's always been this sort of, I would say like this maybe, yeah, something like that. This was 2008, so this was the big crash in 2007, 2008. But we've recently hit sort of that zone again in October. We bounced off of that, and now we're coming back here into this area. So I'm bullish on this. I'm looking for a reversal, but I'm not going in very heavy just yet. If you look at it on the daily, we are very oversold, and generally when you get to this area, it still can go lower. It can still have room to run down, but there's been times when it's bounced pretty heavy, a couple of points, which for this ETF is fairly decent. So yesterday was Sunday. Friday I put it on my list. Today I put in a teaser position. So generally what I'll do is, I think for this I bought March 25 calls. I'll buy one off just to kind of track it, remind myself that I'm interested in it in my portfolio. And as soon as I see a sign of reversal here, somewhere, depends on where that's going to be. There's a couple of gaps here. There's a gap right here, and there's a gap here. So this would be where I would really like to load up, but I think this could potentially short term, no longer than a month old, have a reversal and at least test the 50 MA up here, which is the purple circles. So that's something I'm looking at, but not in a large percentage position. So on to the next one. We got Tesla. This was on last week's watch list, and I was in it. I think, I don't remember exactly where I got in, but I took partials on this pump to 245-ish, 250. It has since been beaten back down to the 50 MA, and I'm still riding a good portion of that original position. If you look at the range bounds here, it's something like that. We're at the bottom of the range again, and I think Tesla can go bullish into the end of the year. Tesla, again, is not highly correlated with any of the indices. It kind of just does its own thing. So I'm bullish on Tesla, but I'm cautious as well. If we drop below 229, 230-ish, I will likely exit the trade because then I can see this gap being filled and potentially lower prices. So it's actually a good thing to set and work on right now because I don't have one here. So there you go. Next name is Walmart. I talked about this last week. I got in somewhere around here, like the 155 area, and I was aiming for, I wanted a little higher. I was aiming for 160, but I took profits here. And on this sell-off, I think, when was this? Yeah, Wednesday of last week was when I fully got stopped out. I moved my stops up to the profit and just kind of took a decent profit on the top move and about break even coming back here. Now, I'm still interested in Walmart because you can see here we have this area. Now, if I go to the weekly, generally, it doesn't happen all the time. You can see it has gone through the 50 MA numerous times, but on this uptrend, it's been respected. This is kind of the first real test here after earnings were a quote-unquote disappointment by the street. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm eyeing it. I don't currently have a position in it, and we'll see kind of how this week plays out. If it can hold this area, I will probably go long again on Walmart. So that's what I'm looking at, keeping an eye on that one. And that's it. That's it for Walmart. Two interesting names. So Carvana, there was some, what's a good word for it? Tomfoolery with their last earnings, and they made it look good. I read an article on Seeking Alpha where some guy who's a way better accountant than I am went through their earnings call and basically called them out for it. But I was short here, and I got stopped out because we did break above this zone. So I'm still interested in shorting this. I don't think the company has good fundamentals. That doesn't really matter when it comes to price action. Price action is the truth. It is what it is. I think on this pump, something happened where the CEO said he'd be buying shares or something else. I think JP Morgan took their bear rating off of Carvana. So it had a massive move today out on a pretty much a down day, 13%, as you can see. So I'm still interested in getting short. It did not break this important level, which is, as you can see, like right around there. And on the weekly, it's kind of hard to see on the weekly, but keep an eye on it for the rest of the week. If it continues to be bullish and breaks through this zone, the next zone I'll look for to potentially enter short is here. I really don't, the car market is not great right now with how interest rates are, and I'm generally bearish. Carvana doesn't really offer anything, in my opinion, as far as their product or service that sets them apart. So I would like to short, but they would have to be very long term. So maybe like March puts, maybe something even further out. So keeping an eye on this one. I have an alert, I think, at some point. And I'll actually make another one just in case we do break towards this top end of the zone. And that's it for Carvana. Last but certainly not least, Virgin Galactic. Now this is Richard Branson's company, and you can see back in the meme era, this thing pumped to $60 at one point. God help the people that bought here. I mean, absolutely insane. But yeah, it is what it is. So it's been floundering around. They lose money. There's no path to profitability for them. I've been shorting them every time it hits about 230, 225. Every time it gets in this zone, I've been adding to my short position. I have March puts, and today it finally dumped a decent amount, and that is because allegedly Mr. Branson is not planning on investing further. So, yeah, loss-making space travel startup. I mean, the product they offer is space tourism. There's 8% home interest rates. There's a looming recession, although people are saying we're going into a soft landing, and that's basically been confirmed. I don't know about that. We'll see when some of the numbers come out later this week. But, you know, space tourism, go on a quick flight to sort of the edge of outer space and then come back. They're just hemorrhaging money. And my target, anyway, let's see if they say anything else interesting here. They have enough funds to sustain its operations to 2026. Delta vehicle, yeah. I don't know about this one. I'm sure the comments on this are great. I know some people love this stock, and I do love space travel. I'm bullish space travel in general. I'm just not bullish on Branson's company, specifically this one, Virgin Galactic. He also does not have the best track record of building sort of successful startups. You can go look that up yourself, but neither here nor there. Look at the weekly really quick. Yeah, I mean, this is just a dead stock, and I plan on shorting it into the goddamn ground. So my target is 150. I think that's my strike is 2 for these puts. So about, if we do hit these lows somewhere here, 150, 140, I'll probably take some partials, but I would really like to run this until it gets delisted. That would be ideal, but we'll see. Again, I hope space travel, tourism, whatever, in general is successful. I just don't believe in this specific company, and that's pretty much it. So shorting this one, long ETH, long China mega cap, long Tesla, keeping an eye on Walmart, and keeping an eye on Carvana. And that's pretty much it. That wraps it up for December 4th. Hope you all enjoyed this analysis. I will try and get one out on Sunday next week. And otherwise, I'll be doing these again either Sunday night or Monday night after the first market day is open. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.